Okay, we're live. Hi, this is William Ramsey. Welcome to William Ramsey Investigates. On today's show, I have a new research episode I'm going to call Code Words or the Epstein Files Code Words. And it'll be an aggregation of all the kind of code words that I've seen used in the files. There's a lot. There's some that are maybe used as code words, some are pretty obvious. Shrimp, jerky, pizza, which kind of ties back into the Podesta emails or Pizzagate, what they call, really should be called the Podesta files, much like the Epstein files, of which there are many subsets. I've put the best site for chat in the show notes. So if you're listening to this live, you can go to a specific one of my 3 YouTube channels where most of the people who are live listeners or followers are there, and give it a follow and a share if you like. This is also streaming to X, Wordle, Rockfin. But there will be a lot. There's just a lot of information here, and there's a lot of strange things other people have found. But I'll start with kind of one of these earlier code words that ties into what's known as Pizzagate or the Podesta emails, and that is this chocolate sauce idea. There's literally was some book in here from 2012. You'll see this live, the EFTA numbers down there on the bottom right, the Epstein Files Transparency Act, and literal thing called chocolate sauce, which I think is a code word for African American child or orgy or something. And Epstein writes on December Sunday, "Are you having fun?" Shelley says, "Fantastic." Something in the other thing, where to find new help? CNN. Gula Geechee, Africa, slavery, America. Like it's about slavery. It's really weird. So strange stuff there. Communication between her and Epstein, or this person and Epstein, it seems like. This whole chocolate sauce thing. Also, this is a very important intro to this other kind of hunting black people email that's there. This was from mainstream media on X, but they said these emails are from Ghislaine Maxwell. She had a BlackBerry format issue, and all the emails were dated Saturday, January 4501. So that's her tell, and those were the emails, very early emails from 2001 to 2003. But we'll see some of those. And this is kind of like the code words. This is really one of the most graphic ones, is this ritualistic sacrifice, babies being dismembered, intestines removed, and it ties into this whole thing of individuals eating feces from these intestines, also raped by George Bush 1. But it's also this whole idea of cream cheese, which we can get into. I mean, this is a very graphic show, needless to say. So if you have, and this is from 2019, so this is after Epstein died. I do believe Epstein died. You can go back, and I did a 2-hour show on what happened at the MCC, the Metropolitan Correctional Center, and you can check that out. But also yesterday I did Deviant Art, of which I have to add a lot to, actually. When I went through it the first time, I still did an hour on it, but I went through it and was like, oh, there's a lot more here. This is the one that ties to Ghislaine Maxwell. I just showed that file from Media Mainstream tagging her BlackBerry at January 4501. And this is it, January 4501. You'll see this, the EFTA is 00580261. I don't know if this has bounced around or been deciphered through the kind of alternate media, but literally says the snipe hunt is over. Moon crickets and field bag has the date, so it looks like it's from Ghislaine, and it says, guess what? They're the N-word. So there it is. And then somebody who follows me talk about snipe hunts, imaginary hunting on moonless nights. The victims are provided burlap bags, so like the field bag is synonymous with like a hunting bag. So this is it. And then also somebody said a moon cricket derived from the antebellum colloquial slur for slaves who, weary and working through the night, maintained through chanting and song. So moon cricket is some kind of racist slavery term. I didn't know that when I first read it. That's the old thing about code words. You don't know what they mean. Some of these I don't know what they mean. Like there's arguably they're using the words chicken parm for victims, which is synonymous with child porn. Like the first letters are consistent with the words child porn, so that may be something in there. They may be using that. I don't know. I'm not fully cognizant, but I don't know all these terminology and stuff like that. But there it is. Moon cricket, so that's it. It's in there. This is the vegetable cream cheese. I talked about this, people eating stuff, I mean, from people's intestines. It's not believable. It's not believable at all. Sorry, I'm just having a cup of coffee. But this one is Epstein 2009 cream cheese baby. And why are these redacted? Like, is there a victim here? Like, they're literally redacting perps and stuff. That's the whole. This is like part of the cover up. I'll do another show on the cover up, which is vast. It's a vast cover up involving allocations of millions of dollars and probably hundreds, if not 1,000 people. But definitely 100 people did these redactions. So when Bondi, who got fired, was on TV saying it's on my desk, there's no way. These are encyclopedic files. They're like huge, like multi-volume files. There's millions of documents. It's incredible too, because they parsed through 6 million documents and kept 2.3 million out. So how did they know to keep those 2.3 million out? They had to have gone through them. These are definitely some kind of code word. Cream cheese baby. This is the EFTA numbers on the bottom right. There are millions of babies, very little good vegetable cream cheese. And then the guy responds, LOL. It's all fun and games. Like there's all kinds of stuff like whoops and LOL. I don't know if cream cheese and baby are on the same level. It's okay. There's still enough time today. Trying to schedule priming for 5:30. Fuel explosion, 9:45 p.m. Will bring a new engine startup video. What's up with the fuel explosion? I don't know what this is. Sent via BlackBerry. Does that mean it's sent by Ghislaine? I don't know. 2009 is a little early. Her earlier ones were 2001, 2003. Skip, if you never want to eat again, this is Johnny Graz, JV Graz on Twitter. He says, if you think Epstein class eating feces from babies' intestines sounds implausible, it's not. Coagulating milk inside of a livestock stomachs and intestines is how cheese was discovered. Even today, cheesemakers add rennet from cow stomachs to begin the curdling process. When the Epstein monsters talk about the wonderful cream cheese they're eating, it's what they're talking about, eating coagulated mother's milk from the intestines of freshly killed infants. This isn't something that was invented by Epstein. This is knowledge and practice that goes back thousands of years. And these people are still in charge of us right now. So bad. Should I drop off your cheese around? And this is like coded. These guys have private chefs. Like I've seen pictures of Jeffrey's private chef. They're never cooking. Jeff and Ghislaine and the Dubins and all these people around them, they're never spending time in the kitchen because they have somebody do it for them. So why are they so obsessed with cheese things? Should I drop off your cheese around 3 or leave at 3:01 for someone to pick up? To JEE. Who's this from? Why is this covered up? Should I drop off your cheese around 3 or leave at 3:01? Should I leave it at 3:01? Like, what? This is like probably one of the worst and the most telling. This is a subset of a screenshot. Torture. I'm still waiting and watching the melted cheese drip. And he's in there with some other people who are redacted. So I don't know who these redactions are. But Jeff is literally caught on camera watching the melted cheese drip. And I do believe that's child porn. And when people are abused or they bleed or whatever, it's just, and it's consistent with some of the stuff from the civil litigation about 5-year-old children being raped. Like, it's so freaking sick. These people are so freaking sick. It's not even thinkable. Here's the shrimp thing, the shrimp cocktail title at the EFT numbers there. This is all verified. There's been other pictures of this. There's pictures of Jeff underneath this portrait as well, which was in his kitchen, excuse me. And he's talking to this guy, Olivier Colombe. These people's careers, a lot of them, and then their reputations, like they had pretty intense blowback from what's in these files. because I think this guy is one of the French one. I did a show called Global Conflagration. It really is because people lost their jobs and lost places to work after these files came out. No, some are like shrimp. You throw away the head and keep the body. And all of it. As long as you don't have any hammerhead ones, I like white sharks. Jeffrey. Two are Russian. I guess some might refer to them as white sharks. King of Saudi Arabia has a few white sharks in his Jeddah palace. I totally prefer yours. I would enjoy the sure I would enjoy the view. Jeffrey, on my island in the Caribbean with an aquarium full of girls. White sharks, sure would enjoy the view. It's just like weird code words. But Epstein seems to say two are Russian. They might refer to them as white sharks. So it's some kind of code word between these two. Jeffrey Epstein, what time is the hamburger do-over? Ann Rodriguez. Lunch. Maybe you do make more hamburgers, but somebody says, I would like to go on your hamburger tour with Hanson. What's that? Like, why don't you just say I'm going to go and get hamburgers? Gene Look called to see if you might like a hamburger. He says he will be on his way to Paris soon. Maybe it really is a hamburger. Maybe it's a code for something. I don't know. But they talk a lot about this food stuff. One thing that isn't a code word, which is the muffins, which go through this thing. And apparently Jeff had a very non-negotiable part of his daily breakfast routine was these specialty brand muffins that he ate every morning. Mandatory AM routine required kitchen house staff to have JE muffins microwaved for exactly 25 seconds and served on the table by 7 a.m. with a spray bottle of I can't believe it's not butter. So that's what he ate every morning. And they have a recipe for it. Eggs, brown sugar, olive oil, digestive bran, wheat flour, flax seeds. But then there's the pizza monster, right? So the pizza kind of comes back into this whole thing from Pizzagate. This is Jeffrey wrote, she looks pregnant. The pizza monster. You mean a radiating soft glow with the look of bliss and excitement? Yeah, that's the pizza. I don't know. I don't know why these are redacted. Because they're corrupt. Alert, send pizza to Bobby. That's 2017. I wonder who Bobby is. I don't know. I hope it's not the Bobbies in the public. Daphne, from Daphne to Jeffrey, may I bring in your slice of pizza to you? Respectfully, Daphne, may I bring it? This is from one thing, like underage girls on a daily basis. I mean, the Epstein's code word for sexual encounters was that it was a massage. So he was always talking about it, massage, but it was their kind of euphemism that for, his having sex with girls who gave him massages and stuff like that. So that's a code word. That's a more obvious one, not that secret. If you like Dick Cavett, I wouldn't see this one. Subject forward, Cavett's guilt and horror. December 20th, 2016. From Dick Cavett. Dear Leslie, horrors, I've committed to me an unpardonable error of inflicting upon Jeffrey today on the phone a false anagram. Please spare him the pain of passing it on in its erroneous form. Here's the correct version. The letters in President Trump rearranged spell Mr. Putin's red pet. Thanks, Leslie. The chicken matter touches my heart. The thing is, the chicken matter touches his heart. So the chicken is a known used for kids or something in the kind of pedo underground. They call it chicken, or you have chicken for sale or stuff like that. So that's Dick Cavett. But the fact that he's kind of like in contact with these guys is not good. This is Dissident Media. Epstein code word so far. These are just guesses, open to changing with new info. I am as well. White tuna, dead white woman, cheese pizza, chicken parm, child porn. Right, CP. Chicken soup, child sex, hot dog boy, pizza girl, pasta little boy, cream cheese newborn, organic carrots, ginger girl. That makes sense. Pecorino Romano cheese. Little St. James, I know that. Ice cream, milk prostitute, I was not familiar with that. Walnut non-white. Sauce orgy, jerky, human flesh. And then they have a couple emails there. Epstein, how do we deal with the frozen white tuna? Why does he care about that? Doesn't he call it frozen fish or frozen tuna? Why does he call it white tuna? There's no such thing as white tuna. Jerky will be with me when I get to LSJ, Little St. James. I can come tomorrow and take care of white tuna if you'd like. I'm due back in New York City this evening. Order pizza for Bobby Slayton. So they're always interested in ordering these people food. Like they have private chefs. Like there's this one guy, what is his name? Perry was one of his private chefs. Like this guy's I think a pretty big time restaurateur in Los Angeles. Dissident media. This is from Twitter. It should be very obvious that Epstein and his confederates use food terminology as a type of code. Unless you think Epstein was personally bringing a member of a multi-trillion-dollar crime family cornflakes. Jeffrey, I have your cereal. Can talk tonight around 10. 2017, that's Arian D. Rothschild. And then it like translates to sacrifice or something, which seems to make sense to me. I mean, I don't know. Epstein Secrets at Epstein Secrets, Epstein in 2012 on a strict diet. How about a hit list for next subjects to ice cream boarding? My version of torture. His friend replies, what is ice cream boarding? Waterboarding with ice cream? Epstein, yes. Great pecan pie, pumpkin pie, apple pie, cheesecake. Kill me now. So, like you boarding people on there or something? Is this like a Marina Abramovich where all their bodies were on boards and stuff? I don't know. It's just not consistent with normal discussions. Like, let's see. Epstein woke up taking Steve to breakfast. Jeffrey, figuratively, sorry for all the typos. So he's figuratively taking him to breakfast. Then this guy, Nikolic, it looks like, says, very much so, making my execution plan and trying to have something for you tomorrow to start helping me shape. Bones, plastics, blood, guts, all bound by science that I understand. Partners, plan, revenue, jobs, gangsters. That is strange. That's Boris Nikolic. This is kind of intermediary, my understanding, is that Boris was close friends with Gates, and there's a picture of Epstein, Gates, and Boris Nikolic together. This is from 2012. This is one of the interesting stuff, the stuff about deers that I've said. This is actually Peter Crash Little C. This is from 2014. There's actually audio of this. Let me see if I can find it. I'll play it for you. But Little St. James is not big. Like it's not this huge, like robust island. There's not a lot of shrubbery or greenery on there. There's supposedly deer on there. And the story is Peter called Guy and asked him if they killed the deers, and Guy said yes. Peter then decided on his own, without calling me, Danny, or Carlos, to go over to Little St. James on Little C, that's a boat, to get the dead deers with Randy, TJ and Sandra's husband. On their way back, they crashed into a reef. I'll forward pics first thing in the morning. Text messages. We had an accident carrying the deer to St. Thomas. Little C stuck on the rocks. Sato here. Boat coming out of the water. Not cool. Worst night ever. Boss man is going to be so mad. Whatever. Why'd you guys go in the ocean at night? Couldn't you go on in the morning? It'll be back tomorrow. If you had Sato, it's okay. Danny said he didn't know that Peter was coming over and he just showed up on Little C. Why do you go hunt for deer at night? Like, make that make sense. It's like, oh, I'm going to go night hunting for deer on a small, tiny island that doesn't really have deer. Like somebody researched it. Does Little St. James have native like deer? And came back, no. More code words from 2010. Frozen food, right? Jeffrey, from Jeffrey. Gear is frozen food. Mark Lloyd is finance. Lyndon Lee is many cause. Hyatt is sex slave. So gear is frozen food. How is somebody frozen food? Is he covering for frozen food? Why would these guys get frozen food? These guys are food snobs. They like want to be fed certain stuff at certain times. Indicative of that is like Epstein with his bran muffin every day at 7. Has to be heated for exactly 25 seconds, and then he has his spray on butter. El Gran Desperatar, breaking news, Epstein files. Appears the meaning of serial and for Ariane de Rothschild and her conversation with Epstein has to be uncovered. It translates to sacrifice in Latin. There's 83 results for Oreo ice cream too, which is kind of strange. Will you be taking Oreo ice cream to Paris? For I want to organize it before I leave. Like, who gets Oreo ice cream taken to Paris? Jeffrey would like sushi and Oreo ice cream organized. Who organizes Oreo ice cream? Why don't you just buy it and have it in the fridge? That's two black, two dark cookies with the white interior. I don't know. I don't know what this means. Boris Nikolic to Jeffrey Epstein, 2011. Memo to mature health-minded vampires. You might want to consider limiting your treats to victims under age 30. JEE was right all along. Okay. I don't know what that means. Chinese cookie to JEE. This is better than the Chinese cookie. See attached. Let's go for pizza and grape soda again. No one else can understand. Go no. Why is this person redacted? Right? And why is this person redacted? These are code words. This is better than this is 2018. This is better than the Chinese cookie. See attached. Let's go for pizza and grape soda. Is this his doctor? Because I'll have this one thing with fish where he's saying the same thing. Francis Derby. This is his guy who literally runs a place called Cannibal. Derby's a real chef who owned a New York restaurant literally called a Cannibal. Epstein appears to have had him on staff or on call for personal cooking and training, including teaching others how to make jerky. Like, jerky was very important. So that's just kind of one here. I mean, it is just really crazy. Let's pull this other one up. And I'll put these all up. I put all the stuff I did yesterday up on my Patreon. So these will also be on Patreon. I'll put the full PDFs on Patreon by tonight, so you can check that out. But I mean, these are tip of the iceberg, guys. This isn't even like all the stuff that I've found. There's just more and more stuff, like creepy words. Like, it really is there. Chicken parm could be like a breakthrough because these people want chicken parm at certain times. This is this is from July 29th. So after his arrest, to Joffrey Berman, this one article. Has anyone looked into the real possibility of Epstein murdering some of these girls and burying their bodies somewhere on his island? Because all these young girls must have been some or who were difficult, threatening to expose Epstein by going to the police, crying or hysterical and wanting to contact their relatives, trying to escape or find a place to hide. What did Epstein do with those girls? What did John Wayne Gacy do with the young boys he had sex with when he was done with them? This is a really interesting thing. The EFTA is EFTA 00086-363. This woman's asking really good questions after Epstein's arrested, 7/6, I think, and then taken to the MCC 7/8 or July 8th, 2019. Epstein must have used drugs on those poor girls to calm them down and put them into a stupor. Ties into this Blink Twice movie that we reviewed. I'm sure he used Spanish Fly. Well, he had knowledge of the scopolamine. There's no question about it. It's not even arguable. And it is interesting because in all of my SFK, Smiley Face Killers, research over 10 years now, like, people bring up scopolamine all the time, and then it shows up at Jeffrey Epstein, and then he's using like smiley face symbolism, like send him a smiley face. So these guys had these kind of code words. It's not like, normal. It's not normal communications. Another possibility, did any of these girls have parents, adoptive parents, relatives, or caretakers to give these girls to Epstein in exchange for cash? Where did these young girls fix so they couldn't get pregnant? That's a good question. Maybe they couldn't. Did any of these girls become sick and die? Were they exposed to AIDS or other sexually transmitted diseases? Case scenario, were babies aborted, born and sold, killed or left to die, and buried somewhere on Epstein's island? There is statements by people in these civil litigations that women are baby incubators, like Yow of God. And I've done that Yow of God episode. You can check that out. I did it with Chris of, Don't Let Them Burn. But this person gets it right. Epstein was not only a molester, pervert, and child molester, he was also a rapist, pimp, pander, torturer, and maybe a murderer of his captives and their babies. What a nightmare feeding dead bodies of girls and their babies to the sharks that swim around his island. Make sure you grill Epstein's staff, past and present. Right there's I just went over this deer that they were supposedly hunting in the middle of the night. How does that make sense? Let's go for a deer hunt in the middle of the night. Like, why didn't anybody grill these people? Why aren't they being subpoenaed? So this is a really interesting document, and I've doubled it other place, but Casey Wasserman, this guy had a real problem with his career in LA too. I think he actually had to leave his job or something. I'll get to the chat here once I hit the hour mark. I have a lot of material to go through. But this is GMAX. They're kind of talking. GMAX 2003. Okay, you will not have to share me with either a cheddar cheese, a baked bean, or a Kit Kat. So maybe they are eating cheddar cheese or baked beans or a Kit Kat. But who uses this terminology, a cheddar cheese? Wasn't it some cheddar cheese or a piece of cheddar cheese or baked beans, plural? This is weird. They're asking, I guess she doesn't know about California too much. How's my volume sound? Anybody know? Because I've had trouble with my inputs recently. So I'm hoping that everybody can hear. I haven't seen any complaints. I had to go back here. I also did a show about codes about Zorro Ranch too, which I can bring up, which is somebody talking about these farm animals in cones. Okay, sounds great. Thanks, Al Gondar. Sounds perfect. Good. Thank you. Sometimes you set these settings and then they get changed. So now I just go through. Okay, so that combo did not do it for you. What combo would then? You, me, not much else. Okay, you not have to share me. I don't know. So maybe you guys do. I already read this email. It's about blood and guts. This is one between Woody Allen and Jeffrey. So this date is 2018, July 10th. They're talking. He spent a lot of time with Woody Allen. There's pictures of Epstein with Woody Allen. They're actually talking about resumes of people and kids that they're going to hire, which is really creepy. You can literally see that there. I will not say their names. Flying Tonight with Hannity. So Jeffrey Epstein is with Hannity. Why isn't anybody talking about the connection between Epstein and Hannity? They talk about Bannon, but this guy's hanging out with Ed Hannity in 2018, kids. That's EFTA 0078 1925. Great. Norwegian embassy invite for you if you have time tomorrow in London. By the way, Stefan Halper is real, so he's interested in all the stuff that's happening around Trump. Where's the kind of part that I'm trying to find here? This is kind of a long one. They talk about Idi Amin. So it's Idi Amin. He didn't just cause heartburn, he ate them. So Woody comes back. Idi Amin, Jeff, Woody Allen hearts. And then I think what Woody Allen says, thanks. At least I'm thinner. And then Woody says to Jeff, or maybe says to Woody, it's because you eat the bones providing fiber. And then Woody Allen jokes back, I don't like waste. Okay. It's because you eat the bones providing fiber. I don't like waste. I don't know if they're joking around. This is about cannibalism. That's just too much. So that's just another one of strange joking, and then they're talking about Japanese food and things like that. Mommy called me. Did you mean to call me or mommy? And some of these are redacted for strange reasons. Um, these are more things, more real kind of inside code words and things like that. Can you call, discuss dates? Let's see. Do you have time to stop by if you're around? Greetings from Tel Aviv. They're like talking to each other about stealing something. I forgot the guy's name, Benny something from Israel. And then it's like, am I when did this happen? Never. Tell others who are actually running this business, not me. I was talking to you about this for advice. You tell me I'm a thief when actually I didn't do anything. Don't respond. I have to get on a plane. It's called theft. This is another one, Jeffrey. Oh, this is nickname is Sneaky. So I mentioned that last night or the day before that Jeff's nickname was Sneaky. In addition to Jeff Edwards. So he went by Jeff Epstein, but his middle name was Edwards. So he would call himself Jeff Edwards. So you can go through the files and kind of see him to kind of disguise himself. Send pizza to Bobby. Hi, Karina. This is the chicken parm 2018. Jeffrey would like to order chicken parm for lunch today for Leon Black. So this may be real, but it may be a very clever way to hide something. On another note, Sonam says she has all the ingredients and can make it, but Jeffrey specifically said from a restaurant. Chicken parm from a restaurant for Leon, nothing for me. Okay. This is the one from Wasserman. This is another one. This is odd. Jeffrey Epstein. 2 Epstein from somebody. Sorry to hear that. Did you eat something bad? What is that? What it question mark? Epstein responds in 2010. Thank you for your concern. Not food, people. Then includes a picture of a tiger with 2 pigs dressed like tigers. Like, why is this picture here? Most of the pictures are like redacted. So why is this one here? Like, it's very strange. Why is this redacted? But that's from Jeffrey. He wrote, thank you for your concern, not food, people. Did you eat something bad? Oh, how are you okay? How is your tummy? Okay, not well today. Sorry to hear that. Did you eat something bad? What it is it? Is it? Thank you for your concern, not food, people. Okay, whatever. Make that make sense. So that's kind of one of the other ones. Let me see if this is the shrimp one. He did eat kosher foods, at least during his final period of incarceration. And shrimp is not kosher, by the way. So I think according to the Old Testament, you're not supposed to eat things that crawl in the bottom of the ocean or have hooves or something like that. Like 3 claw, like pork isn't allowed. Sources described him opting into the federal prison system's kosher meal program, which is available to inmates who request it. On account for Michael Wolff's reporting mentions Epstein receiving simple kosher meals. There's no strong evidence he strictly kept kosher throughout his adult life outside of prison. He was born to Jewish parents, had a bar mitzvah, and maintained some cultural ties, but he lived a highly secular lifestyle with no public indication of ongoing religious dietary observance or going to synagogue for that matter. And then this is the kind of shrimp thing. I can't remember which book this is from, but it's Rosemary was not very mature. Several times during the interview, she repeated how strange she felt to be in the company of such an old man and know what to do to make him believe she was 18. The videotaped interview I produced and later posted in the Daily Beast January 25th, 2015, revealed that Epstein must have known I was younger than 18 because I had no boobs and was little and very skinny like a shrimp. So maybe that's what they're talking about when they talk about shrimp here. Let me see if I can expand this. There we go. This is Olivier Colombe, who I mentioned earlier. I like white. Oh, this is from the same email thread. No, some are like shrimp. You throw away the head and keep the body. Olivier says, I like shrimp, not so much if it's too pink, though I'm definitely more into white than any other color. I like your philosophy. Epstein, I can't even think the smell of black shrimp. Ugh. Colombe, we are again in agreement. There's Colombe. Alert 2017, put platter in freezer for shrimp. That makes kind of sense, but he's serving shrimp, which is odd. 2015, maybe shrimp cocktail, shrimp tonight from his phone. Then here's the walnut sauce. So this code work walnut sauce from the Podesta emails. Walnut person of color sauce orgy. And then Epstein tells Bannon, order Jew food. Steve Bannon, my favorite inbound. Okay. And then he's inviting Bannon to his ranch in 2018. Bannon and his kids. You're welcome with your boys to see my ranch. It's pretty unique. 45 minutes from Albuquerque. Still in New York, but lots of staff there. Chomsky. And this is like the scene of one of Epstein's kitchens with that shrimp picture in here. That's what it looks like, which is odd. Let's see. Richard John. Oh, this is the Tremo one. Just reading that today, newborns will suck on a pacifier more vigorously if it triggers playback of a recording of her mother's voice than another woman's voice. It's so freaking sick. P.S. Richard Johnson wrote to tell me that his editor decided not to run the piece. Here's what Richard wrote. Sadly, my editor thinks too much has been written about Jeffrey and spiking the story, or that's the reason I was given. Bella at Feminine Woman writes, found it. I can't believe how many of his associates wanted the shrimp. So evil, incredibly evil. And apparently Epstein was getting sick from consuming the shrimp. You know it's true. Invite Jessica to dinner and tell her to leave the nephew shrimp at home. That's Levine. So weird. Just to give you the famous post. Then there's the Colombe article. Then there's some jerky here. How do we deal with the frozen white tuna? And then the response to Jeff, jerky will be with me when I get to Little St. James. I can come tomorrow and take care of white tuna if you like. I'm due back in New York City this evening. So he's talking to Francis Derby. How do we deal with the frozen white tuna? So Derby's not only making jerky, he's dealing with frozen white tuna too. That's so freaking weird. 2JE from unknown. Call blank. She will give you massage, and she looks better than shrimp anyway, and good with massages. So we know massages consistent with like it's euphemism for Jeff's kind of like sexual scams or whatever. You know, he would get them in there and then do a massage and then try to pull some stunt on them. Are you feeling any better? Is there something on the I can do? No, bed. I'm lying on the floor. This is Jeff, 2011. I'm lying on the floor so I can't move. Black shrimp and cream sauce. These are pictures here that are not attached. Oh, poor you. I know how much you hate those stomach aches. Compilation preview, creamy shrimp? Question mark. Like, where are those pictures? Why did they get those pictures out of there? Like, what's going on? Okay, so that's kind of shrimp. I had a jerky one in there, but let me get this one out of here if I can. And then there's the jerky one. So weird people, man. They're just very strange. There's the jerky, 2 pounds of jerky. I don't know what kind of meat he was using. 2012. That's the guy who's Francis Derby, who's the chef. 2012 from Francis Derby. I just wanted to touch base about jerky. J.E. said he was going to start eating regular food again, so he might be eating less jerky. So jerky isn't regular food. He said he has 6 bags of it in the downstairs freezer for his next trip. Like, who prepares 6 bags of it for his next trip? I believe it enough to get him through. Any other questions, please let me know. Francis J. Derby. Okay, weird. Reed Hoffman. So this is the guy who runs LinkedIn and I think Salesforce. I don't know. No, I don't think Salesforce. I think he was part of the PayPal mafia. But many threads for our next call. Planes, charity, mapping orthogonal dimensions, beef jerky. What? Like, what the heck? Like, these are rich people. They eat the best food they want. They get all the best of everything. Francis Derby to Jeff. Why didn't we get jerky this week? Said you could not do it until Friday. Please explain. To Jeffrey, beef jerky. Jen won't be here to make new one, but there's an old one in the freezer. Would you like to take it with you? There's an old one of what? Why do they talk about it in the singular? Why isn't it there? Jeff Epstein. Come to Leon's building. Send jerky with her. Or have JoJo bring and then redacted. Why is this redacted? This is a cover-up. To Jeff from blank 2013. Jerky. Francis has time to come tomorrow to show me how to make it. Jerky class, anyone? He'll also bring you a taste of his new jerky recipe from the restaurant. He sends a warm hello. He is working at a restaurant called Cannibal and cooks, wait for it, beef jerky and steak. He has time at 3 p.m. if it's okay with you. To Corinne Yashuliak, that was his last girlfriend, is my understanding. Flying on Friday, I will bring jerky. Hi, J.E. has asked to bring in more beef jerky on Friday. Are you also flying? Take me on the plane. Let me know, Corinne. Okay. That's a regular food thing. There's just weird things about that island, too. I'm going to see if I can find that deer audio and see if you think. The cream cheese baby. I found it at Jay's Lake Worth. Any good bagel house has it. There are millions of babies to very good cream cheese, like it's an inside joke. From Jeff, sorry about today. With the vegetable cream cheese, we are even. Like, well, who trades in vegetable cream cheese? This is like some kind of weird core thing. EFTA is EFTA 00504558. Hi, Leslie. Any way we can meet Jeffrey on the second floor of Core, back of the restaurant for some coffee, tea, or beef jerky? Huh? Smiley face. I'll be totally private or meet Jeffrey. Why do you need to be private? Or meet Jeffrey at our apartment if he doesn't want to be at Core. Would love to see Jeffrey and catch up. Unfortunately, we can't do skin treatment today, but definitely we do skin time and he is in town. Okay, question mark? Okay, whatever. That is so strange. Let me see if I can find the deer audio. Like, so they're going to hunt deer in the middle of the night at Little St. James and then get stuck on a reef. But there is audio somebody found on the in the Epstein files. I intend to play it for you now. Let's see. Hopefully this will work.
He wants to get to the bottom of this, and I want to get to the bottom of this because this is my ass. This is not y'all ass. Okay? I called you last night. You said you did not speak to Peter.
I did until we got here.
Peter said he called and spoke to you.
I talked to Peter.
So Guy talked to Peter, Peter talked to Guy, no one talked to Danny, no one decided to call Anna. Basically, that's what it is. No, you called me after the fact. You didn't call me when the fucking boat crashed. No one called me. Let's get that straight. Listen, I got the message from you midnight. Did it happen at midnight? No. Did anybody think to call me and say they're going to use the boat to come get some dead fucking deers? No. No, right?
No, you're right.
And now we're dealing with this shit. Look at the boat. Look at the man's boat. This is bullshit.
No, it's a nightmare.
You the head electrician. You like one of the head landscapers. I finally got you a gig as a boat captain. And this is the bullshit I'm dealing with. This is bullshit. All y'all know better than this shit. This man is livid right now with us. I mean, I don't even know what. I'm so fucking cross right now, right? This fuck makes no sense.
Oh, extremely. Especially after we had a good successful evening to start with.
This is just completely, this makes absolutely no sense.
This is what I got
No
really
sense.
pissed off about. I told both of these guys, I said, you want these deers, you wait for the morning. And then all of a sudden...
But that was the plan, to kill them, wait till daylight, and then we dispose of.
So they know that they're like deer. Why are they saying deers? Deer is plural. Like, what the heck are they saying? Midnight and dispose of them? Like, what the heck?
Them properly. And then I get these calls and this bullshit happened. This is the man's crew boat. It's bad enough he don't have another boat.
Yeah.
We don't have another boat. What are we gonna use? A barge? How much money is that gonna cost us to run the staff back and forth on a damn barge now? This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
Make that make sense. I don't know. It's just,
He wants to get to the bottom of this.
yeah, I don't know what to make of that, honestly. It is strange that they like in the middle of the night and like dispose properly. Like, what do you dispose properly with a deer? I don't know. Take it somewhere. Here's other code words. This is an interesting one from the Zorro Ranch, and people read this a couple times. I'd like to know your guys's opinion on this, but it doesn't. Something doesn't add up like it's normal. That's all I'll say. This is from Sarah Kellen. We know who she is. 2011. Zorro Ranch. Wanted to make sure you guys knew Jeffrey Epstein told Wendy to get rid of all the quote unquote show animals on the ranch. The miniature horses, pigs, turkey, goats, Diablo, etc. Wendy said she will try and sell what she can. I don't think J.E. much cares what happens to them, as he said to just kill them, quote, kill them, unquote. I think the only thing we're keeping is the chickens for the eggs and the horses which someone can ride. But he said they're keeping the horses. So it's odd. Like, I'll read it again. Want to make sure you guys knew J.E. told Wendy to get rid of all the show animals on the ranch. The miniature horses, pigs, turkey, goats, Diablo, etc. Wendy said she will try and sell what you can. I don't think Jeffrey Epstein cares what happens to them, as he said to just kill them. I think the only thing we're keeping is the chickens for the eggs and the horses which someone can ride. Okay, whatever. Make that make sense. Because it doesn't make sense to me, but it could. And why do they have all this thing, like these animals in the pen in this remote area of all the strange places? Like, it's crazy. One of the other ones is like he's talking to his. These are just some of the stranger ones. Is the pizza and grape soda, where he's talking to it with his. Let's see, with his doctor. He's talking about the same thing. So it's another example of pizza and grape soda together too, I should say. But this guy is Harry Fish, who is his thing. They're talking about Howard Stern, so Howard Stern knows about this. Can't. California Cryobank, Repro's Lab. Do you want a Woody dinner tonight? So they're all around. The fish heads was what I needed. Chicken parm would have been good too. So they're talking about chicken parm too. What's the attraction to chicken parm? Like, I like chicken parm, but they keep talking about it. That's Harry Fish. Epstein the best. Thanks for a great dinner. Fish heads was what I needed. Chicken parm would have been good too. You're back on my show. One more thing. Chunkies. Okay, what does that mean? Goyim. Oh, they used the code word Goyim, right? They're two Jewish guys. Sultan wants to replace Bionic Dick with new Swiss version. Wants different surgeon. You're joking. Nope. Goyim. Pizza and grape soda tomorrow for lunch. We can also buy Teflon for Woody. Ask Barry. Teflon is what practicing Jews put their, that kind of leather thing around their arm and their forehead. But here you go. Pizza and grape soda tomorrow for lunch. In addition, with all these other code words like chicken parm would have been good. Fish heads. What does fish head mean? I don't know. But most people don't eat fish head. They eat fish head soup or something. Like these are other strange, weird code words. Like, what the heck does he mean? This is fish again. This is actually a more sinister one. But it's the fact that they're like talking about getting somebody to like pay. They're talking about Pedro, about the whole thing. But he's talking to Epstein. He goes, got the right person. This is 2019 in February. Got the right person. Delta Force. We'll send you something later. Why do you need something from Delta Force? Then Jeff says, on plane. Fish says, have a few great options. Special Forces, Secret Service, old retired cops. For what? For what is he talking about? So that's the same guy talking about grape soda. He was known as the urologist to the stars, Harry Fish, professor of clinical urology at Columbia University, America's leading expert in erectile dysfunction. He told Epstein later, he says, after taking your ED prescription, after you use them, wash your hands and let's go get pizza and grape soda. So he says it to him twice in another instance. This is the other thing here. Let's see. This is from an article. I can't remember who it was, but this is it right here. I'll have to find a link to this. After you use them, wash your hands. Let's go get pizza and grape sodas. This guy, Harry Fish, he's definitely in it. Calling people goyim, It's not a nice term for non-Jews at all. So take your ED stuff. I mean, Epstein was getting old. He was 65. And using that crazy stuff. I mean, I probably could do a lot more shows on this. There's probably a lot of other things, but the deer on the island is very strange, I think. I think that whole sequence is odd, to be honest with you. But I will put the PDFs up on my Patreon. You can check that out. I'll put this on my Patreon as well. You can watch it without ads. Johnny, hi. How are you? Thanks, Mr. Ramsey. Thank you, someone. Appreciate it. Finally caught a live show. Thanks, Jack. I'll do one too. I'll either do it tonight or tomorrow, just on the cover-up, detailing the cover-up from before the election in 2024, then 2025 cover-up from Bondi from January 20th when the administration started and just all the way up until the present. It's a story in itself, and a lot of people don't know the actual kind of like how the cookie crumbled, so to speak, And it's very important because Pam Bondi, it was a massive operation, guys. They had to go through 6 million files. A lot of people don't get that. Like she's saying it's on my desk. 6 million files are not on her desk. That is a deception for the public. there's a freaking warehouse where these people were going through and parsing through what they were going to give to the public. But they were guys, this is what's important. They were doing it before the EFTA was actually passed through Congress in, I think, November of 2025. That's the tell. That's what the giveaway is they were intending to cover stuff up from the get-go. And there was that February 27th clown show of a total people who you should be very suspicious of coming out of the White House with those lame white binders that already had information that was released from the Giuffre case. Like, it was already redacted too. And then it says the most transparent. It's so dumb and sloppy. Like, who conceived of that plan? Somebody with, I want to talk about low IQ. Like, it didn't make any sense. Anyway, so that's a lot one. Jamie, good to see you. Hope you're well. Bobby Slayton, yeah, he's in a lot. Yeah, Bobby's in there. There's no question. Epstein was a health nut and pizza was not allowed. Wow, that makes perfect sense. He was a health nut. He did not drink or smoke. He was very conscientious about his health, even though he wasn't in great health. And I couldn't confirm his what was that thing where they cut like the piece of his like anatomy off? It supposedly was the reason why he was switched out at the MCC, but I don't know. Jamie, I haven't covered this part yet, though. 5 palms or 5 palms, interesting. Far departure from normative behavior. That's right, Jack. No question. Mind Hack caught another one. Thanks to be here. Yeah, Jimmy Deluxe does some of the best vids. I had him on Opperman show, like, had to have been like 7, 8 years ago. It was a while back. He was on my show too. Like, he's done shows a lot, but his videos are first rate. And his artwork, he's a great artist too. So check those out. Ed's doing great work too on this. He's had guests on. I wish I had on one guy who's covering the case of this Brazilian model. There's weird Brazilian ties to Epstein. Definitely Deer is a code apologetic. It feels like it to me too. It doesn't seem something's not authentic. Like, why would they just go hunting? Why wouldn't, if you really had a problem with deer, couldn't you get like a hunter to go shoot somebody during the day? Like somebody who's like, kills wild boar or coyotes or something. Like, he had the money. Epstein had the money to get specialists for almost anything. So why would you get like, oh, we just came over in the middle of the night to get deer? Make that make sense. And then tie it in with that document I was telling you about of this woman asking questions and sending it to Joffrey Berman. Part of the cover-up is the firing of Joffrey Berman that took place after the arrest of Epstein in early 2020, if I remember correctly. I got to get my dates clear, but it was under Bob Barr. But they got rid of him fast. But some of the documents are in here very telling by him. Mind Hack, all the people laughing at the Pizzagate believers aren't laughing so hard. They shouldn't be. These guys are total crazy. Took a year off, Jamie. Yeah, but I didn't know that. Ice cream is code. I think you're right. Fish and ice cream, yeah. Gerald Hall, I need my American Oreo ice cream when I go to the literal mecca for food. That's right. Like, you need to have your Oreo cookie when you literally are going to like place with the best food ever. Donald, crazy, very sick people, no question. Why would you bury bodies on an island when the ocean will destroy it? True. Good point. Zoe Trophy. John Wayne Gacy. Hi, from New Zealand, Unfly Guy. Welcome. I know a lot of so-called serial killers are part of networks. This is a network. I call it the Jeffrey Epstein network. I don't call it a class. It's not the entire class, but Epstein's network is very dark, man. These guys are in Darlington. Very evil stuff. Let's see. We only hear from victims who have a voice. Mind Hack, these are millionaires. They aren't eating cheddar cheese pizza and ice cream. You're right. They eat the best meals. Like, sometimes you go through these files. There's a lot of pictures. I can go through the pictures for you guys because I downloaded all the series just to see how they live. But like, there's somebody behind them, like serving them food. You never see them like in normal traditional families. The preparation of meals or feasts or holidays is very normal. And a lot of pictures like, okay, Bob had a celebration for this, so we made food, or it was Christmas, but it's not there. They're not ever making food. They're never making food, or just like hands-on food or something. Somebody's serving it to him. Woody Allen, yeah, I mean, you can hear his stories and all that stuff. No audio issues, good. Did some groups want blood or other human products because of genetic disorders? I don't know. I haven't looked into the cryobank stuff. It's mentioned. I just mentioned it from this guy Tish. So there does seem to be some kind of cryo connection, and some people have researched that and says that it's active post Jeffrey's death, which is even stranger. Tiger's prominent, eyes wide shut. Good point, Lizzie. That's absolutely true. There's tiger prints right there that I showed about this human eating. And then the girl who's the prostitute wears the tiger print. And then I think it's at the end in the toy store, excuse me, that there are tiger prints. It's a really good call, like a very good connection between this Epstein thing. Maybe it means something. I know the pedo bear definitely means something for sure. Like amongst pedophiles, like an active pedophile like Epstein would know the pedo bear. So also figured in the dragon story. Remember? No, I don't remember that mind hack. Is there a reason to eat people? Maybe it's getting power. If you get high enough in the occult or something like that, like Crowley, who was like the highest, or some of these other people, blood drinking means power, or consuming hearts, or even in paganism, sub-Saharan Africa, and some of these other kind of like African things, like you get power by eating somebody's body parts. Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. Let's see. Walnut mail, don't know. Sounds coded. Yeah, these are coded, I think. Chicken of the steer. No kidding. It's strange how the media ignores the code words, even though the words pizza and hot dogs were. Yeah, hot dogs was exposed in a different. It was a different than the Podesta. It was the Series 7 things, where there was an email at the Obama White House where they're like paying $50,000 for hot dogs to be shipped from Chicago or something like that. Same kind of code stuff, right? Totally not thing. There was also another one like in that series where like there was a hot dog stand in Hawaii. And they're like, oh, we got to go to this hot dog stand. Like, who goes to Hawaii and goes to a specific hot dog stand? Very strange. Hopefully, talking about deer jerky, maybe. I could be wrong. You know, I'm willing to change. I don't know. Food stuff to be preserved. Yeah, and like the strange transporting of jerky. Like, where's my jerky? Like, I don't care. Where do I get my jerky? If I'm really obsessed with jerky, I will go to like a rest stop on a highway or Costco or some of these big box stores and go buy 2 or 3 pounds. Like, why don't you just do that like a normal person? Donald says most of these class of people are Sabbatean. Frank is search Sabbatean. Yeah. Their antinomian, their beliefs are very similar to what Crowley believe and practice. I think you're right. These are like some kind of subset of Judaism. They're ethnically Jews, but he practiced some kind of part of Judaism because he was kosher. Like it gets weirder when you really take it apart. Larry Hillman, grape soda is mentioned frequently in the code, has been exposed but ignored. I can't imagine super wealthy people drinking grape soda and eating cheese. Well, I don't either. You're absolutely right. On their thing, like they would be having like, I don't know, like wine or champagne or whatever. Like the money was no object. The guy was worth like $600 million. Like grape soda is like an urban drink or something. So Soylent Green is jerky, Blues Johnson Traveler. Human hunting party in the middle of the night for fun. That sounds more believable to me. It doesn't make sense to me. The deer and the hunt at night and just normal, goofballs. Like, I'm just going to go hunt the deer, Hey, Bob, it's midnight. You want to go hunt deer over at Little? Sure. No, I don't know who the woman in the audio is. I don't know. They were never, this is part of the cover up. These people weren't brought in for questioning because some of these people might collapse. Like, or just like you could turn them too. Like, oh, you're, involved in a prosecution, you're trafficking people. Do you want to tell your whole story or do you want to be prosecuted? Maybe that's what happens. And good prosecutors do that so they can get more information on the higher ups or the perps. But all we've got is Epstein and Maxwell. It's a much broader organization. And so many people, so many of the girls, and even Virginia Giuffre said like everybody knew. One of the what I'll do is I'll go through all the pictures for you. I think it's just a visual display is really something else because you can see, but like these pilots and stuff who were on the helicopters and planes, they had to have known. Like there's just so many girls being brought around, and they all look young. Like they're not fat at all. Like they're all like young and healthy, I guess. That's the way to put it. The show animals at Zorro Ranch could be legit. I think there are some legit, but some of the way that they talk about him is very strange. Kathy O'Brien, human hunting parties, yeah. Genetic, he was involved in all that stuff. Karma, Michelle. Epstein was involved in transhumanism, genetic stuff. He thought he had a genetic disease, like he had his own genes traced. He was inviting people to parties at that Edge Foundation that were involved in 23andMe, the Wojcicki girl, I forgot her name. But enough horror, yeah, I don't blame you. That's 1965. Jay said he was trying to see the human race. There are pictures of him with pregnant women, and it's kind of strange. It looks like like a father would be with a pregnant woman, kind of strange. Antlers, yeah, that's right. Pretty low IQ to think we're going to get the truth about anything in the middle of a war. Well, we're not going to get it from the administration, that's for sure. Let's see. Check out my smiley face. Killer Doc, yeah, I have two. You can see them at my Patreon if you want to check it out. Great pizza parties, Larry Hillman. Yeah, send that over. Send me that by email. I'd be interested. When she was deposed by Congress, she came out and said something really like, "Oh, this whole Pizzagate farce." She's really bitter about it, but maybe I can find it in my records. But she's really like discounting Pizzagate, like this fake thing that came out, blah blah blah. But she made a point of like making a statement about it. Oh, here it is. Let me see if I can bring this up. Clinton.
And a series of questions about Pizzagate, one of the most vile, bogus conspiracy theories that was propagated on the internet.
It wasn't. Came out of the Pizzagate was an adjunct to the Podesta emails. That's where it came out. As people went, who is this person, Marina Abramovich, and why is she doing blood rituals, and why is she hanging out with Podesta? That's what it did. That's what it was. French butler, right? They had butlers and stuff like that. Diana said, Cindy McCain, everybody knew what Epstein was doing. Right. I mean, I think that's the truth. Maria Farmer always used to say Leon Black was one of the most evil. Well, read the civil cases about that guy, man. Wow. He's a demon. You've got to go where the investigation leads to bad traffic count. It's not the end of the story. Think about what's in the other 2.3 million files, guys. Like I'm rifling through things that have been deliberately obfuscated through redaction. But this is the thing about the cover-up is that who controls the files that aren't redacted? The DOJ. Who's the new DOJ head? This guy Blanche. Who's running the DOJ? The administration. So who's gone through all that stuff? But this isn't even the end of the story on the code words and all that stuff. I think that there's even more here that I've covered. But Black paid out, I think it's like $60 million to the Virgin Islands alone. So there's huge payouts too, like hundreds of millions of dollars in payouts from victims. A lot of these cases that took place. So it's just it's such an incredible story. And so many people were caught up, so many, victims involved. thousands of victims. New names come out all the time. Like, who's that person? I don't even know who that is. So people are feeling more comfortable. And that goes back to all the FBI files. Like one of the cover, I'm going to do different sections so people can see different elements. So I've done the MCC. Yesterday I did DeviantArt. Today code words. And the next one is it's going to be the cover up. And then I'll do the FBI files too, because they're astonishing. But anyway, you can check this out on my Patreon. I'll put the PDF on my Patreon. So you can just download that PDF and scan through the stuff or keep it for your records yourself. These are kind of baselines too, because people can add to it, take from it. You have the EFTA numbers. Most of the documents have been taken off of the justice.gov, so it'll probably stay on justice.gov. But there are other sites that have now have all the files. One is web.io, which has a repository of the 12 data sets. There's a couple other ones. I'll tell you right now. Let me see if I can find these links. It is let's see. I'll put 2 links up here in the file so people can check out where the other files are. One is called Epstein File Explorer. These are really good. You can just tinker around there. And then the other, Epstein's Images. Yeah, I can go through the images and stuff too. But if you like to take your time and go through those, if you're got that research bent, you can do it. But anyway, again, Patreon. You can check out my 5 documentaries on Patreon. I'm up over 1,700 episodes on my podcast, William Ramsey Investigates. And I got my YouTube channels back, so I've had them for about 6-7 months now. And most of the chat takes place on my biggest YouTube channel, which I think is under Occult Investigations, but I have about 20,000 subscribers there. So that's kind of like if you want to see other people chatting. One of the things about StreamYard, which is a shortcoming, is that if you're on a smaller site, you don't see the totality of what comes in. Because for me, I'm showing like 240 people live or listening. But the people who are, on smaller sites, maybe on Rumble or one of my smaller YouTube chats. So I recommend going to that Occult Investigation, 20,000 subscribers, and then you can communicate with other like-minded people. Like a lot of people recognize each other. So I can see that in the chat on my side. But anyway, thank you for listening. Thanks, everybody, and really appreciate it. Share the show if you can. And look forward to the cover-up. That'll be the next one. So it'll probably either be out this afternoon or tomorrow. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all your support, too. Really do.